Auckland? I haven't ordered anything from Auckland. S&J Kingsley. Oh, this is Sarah. This is Sarah. I said I wasn't going to do an unboxing, but I'm doing this one. This is mega. This is awesome. This is from Sarah and John Kingsley Smith. Basically, she's noticed that I'm still using my coffee jar to drink coffee out of. So, she sent us a couple of mugs. Look. I think John has got a home workshop. And Salt Lake Cycles, and he sent us a couple of mugs. Look at them. If that's his workshop, he needs more space, just like I do. Nice looking bike though, does look cool. So thank you very much for these. They're going to be dead handy. The coffee was starting to taste a little bit funky out of the jam jar, but that's probably because I've had methylated spirits in it and all sorts of stuff. Oh, that's the other thing. I found my spoon. I've got a spoon as well. It was in the bottom of the parts washer, so I'll have a cup of coffee later. Ideal. They also sent us some treats and stuff. See, Craig just gets dog biscuits, and I think there is a picture where he ate one, but I don't think he should be doing that. But I've got stuff I can eat, as well as more chocky bars. Look. And we also got some stickers from, does it give his name? No, it doesn't. But they have a friend who makes robots out of stuff that he finds. And it looks quite cool actually. As well as their old bike club. Grease Monkeys, Bike Builders Club. So some of these are going up. Definitely on the toolbox. And that door is starting to get it as well. So I think all my stickers are going to be going up there. That'll be cool. Sweet. Thank you ever so much, Sarah and John. That is really nice. You didn't have to do this, but it's a really nice gesture. Thank you ever so much for that. I really do appreciate it. That's mega. Right, tail stock's on, so it's starting to look a little bit like a lathe. Oh yeah, how does a spoon stay in a parts washer for 2 weeks and come out filthy and need cleaning? So I'm back on a 12mm spanner. Right, was having a chat with Matt from work. He works in the maintenance thing, and he's given me some of this. Don't know if you can see it. It's a bit sort of grainy kind of looking. I'll see if I can do the zoomy thing, show you what's what. But all the machinery that we've got in the tool room sits on these things. It's like it's not solid rubber, there's voids in it and it's all sort of flecky and everything else, but it is bloody tough stuff. Really hard. So he's given me 2 different thicknesses as well. I'm probably going to use the thicker stuff, I think. I'll keep that other stuff to one side because it's probably going to be handy. This is what you mount it on. So I've got some shield anchors, which is like it's, well, you'll see in a minute. But all I'm going to do is cut these in two, stick a hole in. So I've got 4 of them. This I'm going to shove underneath the cabinet, and I'm going to bolt through into the floor. And all these do apparently is, don't let it move or anything, but it just takes out any vibration. So the floor isn't perfectly level. It's kind of, you know, it's got ripples in it where it's been, you know, where they finish it with a, I don't know, a plank of wood, or it's not skimmed. It's not dead smooth. There's lumps and bumps in it. So this will help take some of them out, and it'll also just cushion it. And hopefully, no vibrations. Right, let's do that. Right, so that's another day almost gone. I had a visitor. I came in here earlier on today thinking, you know what, I'm gonna really crack on with it. I'm gonna get stuff done. I'm having that gearbox apart and all sorts. And then Simon Rolls turned up with the shop for Asbo. We fitted that and had a monkey about with it. It's all working. So we'll be goofing about with that in the next video when Steve-O's down, which is gonna be next week, isn't it, Steve-O? Because you is definitely gonna be here. I did ask Simon if he wanted the job, but he didn't. Right, all we're doing is giving this a quick spritz up, just a final wipe down before I start assembling everything. Basically, it has all been cleaned, but you know, why wouldn't you? It's just a 5-minute job. And then I'll probably do it again once it's in there, because it's going to get covered in grubby fingerprints when I stick it in. But we're in good shape, I think. Oh, that'll be all right. Okay. Let me show you what I've been doing. Right, so you haven't missed much, but I did it while Simon was here, just because I want to get stuff done. So the motor mounting plate is back in. This hinge plate basically just fixes to that. So it's in, it's just loose, it's not lined up or anything else yet. That bit comes later. So if we stick him in there. I did cover all the ways and stuff up. It's just where I was drilling holes for the cabinet. The amount of dust it creates is just ridiculous. And having got it all nice and clean and sorted and everything else, I really don't want to be messing it up or anything now. Oh yeah, the cabinet's all bolted down. I put Simon to work whilst he was here. Come on, go in. Why aren't you going in? Have I got you lined up wrong or something? I've got you lined up wrong? Let's just make sure they are the ones. Don't chip the paintwork. No, right, I thought that was right, because they was in the back, marked motor mounting bolts. Just me being cack-handed with it, isn't it? Don't chip the paint. So yeah, it's the cabinet's all bolted down. Got some of those pads underneath it as well. This thing is just, it's as rigid as a rigid thing on National Rigid Day. You ain't going to get much stiffer, I don't think, without spending squillions of pounds. But you know, it's a big heavy bit of kit, and it did take a fair amount of fussing. But that's what it's fixed down with. I've just got these shield anchors that I've got anyway for the other products. So that's what's in the ground. I'll show you one of them in a second, actually. but I think we are good to go. It is so nice to be sticking stuff back on. Wrong spanner. Bloody Imperial. See that one? No. I'm down to my last roll of emergency toilet paper. I could have had thousands of extra poos during lockdown and not worried about it. Right, time to clean up the toys. So the cabinet is now all bolted down. It's on its cushion feet and everything else. That's what I've fixed it down to the floor with, just a shield anchor. So as you wind it in, it just opens up the gap and seals it and blah, blah, blah. They're really good. It's like £6,500 pull-out pressure required to dislodge each one of those, apparently, if you believe all the line marketing stuff. Yeah, so that's all down. The motor mount is back in. The speed pulleys and stuff, and the arm to, slacken off the belt and all that, that's all in, and it's all tensioned up right, and I've got the right amount of play. It works lovely. It's dead smooth, and it's like on an eccentric, so it goes past centre and it kind of locks itself in place, which is really cool. This is covered in oil, look. So that's all sweet. So if I can get the decks cleared, even just a little bit, then I can start on that gearbox, which is the next thing that I want to do, the thread cutting gearbox. The only trouble with a milling machine is all the chips and the oil and everything else that you put onto it just gets thrown everywhere. You can get these little screens that go around it, and I may even get one for around the back just because it's awkward to clean. But it just throws stuff everywhere. I'm going to give this a bit of a clean up. I'm going to shove some of that out of the way, and then we're having that gearbox apart. Look! Right, today is a new day, and I've forgotten my hat. So we're not off to the best of starts. I want to have a go at this bit next. This is the thread cutting gearbox, and it's in better days, it has to be said. Let me show you what's what. Alright, so this is in. This bit here is obviously the lead screw, and essentially that's what you're controlling the speed of. If you're cutting the thread, the slower you make this bit sort of turn round, then the finer pitch thread you're going to get. Nice little plaque that's got all the different pitches and all that sort of stuff on. However, they're proving to be a right problem. I was having a chat with Tony from lathe.co.uk, and you can't get these anymore, not unless there's a machine being broken. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do there, but essentially these are your gear selections, and if you look on the inside, it is about as simple as it gets. So essentially this one is your input shaft. So this is driven off a combination of the electric motor and the pulleys that I've just fitted in the bottom. So that gives you rotation on the input shaft, and then you've just got a whole series of gears which get hooked up to here. And depending on where you've got these gear levers selected, that just, you know, decides what pitch thread you're going to have. I don't think it's going to be too bad to get apart, but I want to get all this apart, get it cleaned up, paint it. Everything in there needs to go through the ultrasonic and get cleaned out, because it's just covered in sawdust and crap and everything. There's a tiny bit of wiggle on some of these, but we'll have a look at that as we're going, and we'll see what happens. Right then. Right then, let's see how we've done. Oh, that's better. Yeah. Okay. It can go in there. The lead screw has got a fair amount of goo and smuts and nastiness going on. Come on. So I just want to see if I can get some of that off. Right, let's see if that works. Right, so this has turned out lovely. It's all cleaned up, most of the smooth's gone, we've still got a little bit down here left. Everything spins really nicely, but I really want to get this shaft out. The only trouble is, the way it's held in place from what I can see is this collar, it's basically been pinned. So pin's been driven in from that side, all the way through the shaft, comes out here. There aren't any grub screws or anything else on the end, so that's basically what's keeping it in. Which is a pain, but I really want to get this out. It's just so I can paint all the inside of this basically, nothing more than that. There's like little oil feed points and stuff up here to oil the shafts and whatnot, but I don't want to be hammering on that because I don't want to stand any chance of bending the shaft. I know it's, you know, the void is filled and it's quite large at either end where the gear train sits. I have had a, I've got a blunt one of these, you know, a little automatic centre pop thing, which I've tried sticking on there and seeing if it actually moves, and it's had like 5 or 6 and it's not shifting at all, and I don't want to be sticking a drift on it and bashing it because I don't want to bend that shaft. Bloody hell. I think what I'm going to have to do, for now I'm not taking the shaft out. I don't want to risk damaging anything on this, so I'm not going to take the shaft out, and later on I'll make something that sits in this recess that I can wind up and it will just support the shaft, so then I can drive the pin out without the risk of bending anything. This should be a fairly easy bit to take off again anyway, from what I saw, so at some point that's going to happen. But this whole thing is moving lovely, really is, and it's all going to get bathed in oil and everything else. There's no real wear on the sprockets, there's just a bit of shmoo up here which I'm sure I can get rid of. So he's probably going to go through the ultrasonic again just to try and shift some of that stuff. Now I'll give it all a clean, give it a paint up, and we can start on some of those other bits. Still got a little bit of rust in here to get shot off yet, so it's going back in, whatever. Right, so I'm cleaning all my bits up. Everything's been through the ultrasonic bath just to knock all the schmoo and smuts and stuff off. And they're actually coming up really, really good. Everything's getting covered in this 3-in-1 oil. It's the lightest oil I've got, but I just want to make sure everything gets a good coating. Before we start sticking everything back together again. The gearbox, I had to go at it with the little detail sander just because some of the paint was sort of flaking off. I've not took it right down to bare metal. I haven't even done a proper smooth out job. Literally all I've done is took the flaky stuff off, so anything that's left ain't going to be going anywhere. I had rags and everything else shoved in it because now I've got it all clean in there. I really don't want grit and grot and everything else getting in, so we're all good there. So that's that. Right, that's where I'm going to leave it for this one. We haven't got a fair wedge done though. I'm quite tough with that. Slightly annoyed about not being able to get this shaft out. I think one of the early projects I'm going to be doing on the lathe is like a machinist jack, something that I can get under there to support the shaft whilst I drive that pin out, because I ain't got to risk it. But it's all in pieces. Everything has come up lovely. Everything is covered in oil. There's no real wear on it anywhere, so I think we're in. I think we're off to a good one here. So what we do is, today is Monday, I've got to chip off to work now, so I'm only going to be able to come in sort of like a couple of hours here and there during the week before I do my work, but we're going to get all this up painted, stick it all back together again and shove it back on the lathe. The lead screw, let me just show you this. The lead screw is too long to fit in the ultrasonic, obviously, so all I've got, there is some surface rust on it. Not a lot, but there is some. So I've got it wrapped up in rags. It's all been soaked in that vapor rust stuff. Hopefully that's going to get some of it shifted. And then I've just got like a little, well, I've got a brass one, I've got a stainless one, but you know, little brushes with like soft bristles and whatnot. So we just go over and give it a clean up and then douse all that in oil as well. So, but I am going to leave that just sitting for sort of 24 hours. Because it's not being agitated with the sonic bath and all that sort of stuff. So, but we'll see how that comes out. So that's it, that's where I'm leaving it. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Loving all the comments and people chipping in, that is really good. Loads of folks that have got themselves an old lathe and this, that and the other, and you know, just chipping in with stuff that I don't know about them, which is really good, really handy. So keep it going. It's all good advice. But anyway, we'll get all this lot back together during the week. And then I'm undecided whether I'm doing the headstock next or the carriage. You know, the saddle, apron, whatever it's called. The bit that goes up left to right and stuff. I need to learn what stuff's called. But anyway, so that's going to be the next bit. Thank you ever so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Laters!